Sean and Joe, another episode ready to go. They're gonna talk about the good and the trash and anything in between. Cherishing make-believe, get ready for Halloween. It's the horror show. I know you missed those guys. Tune in and find out what's on their list tonight. They butcher and dissect, take apart and mutilate. Listen to your two favorite brainiacs communicate. It's the horror show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not-so-favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
So, we're rolling straight into this from a Patreon because I just revealed to Joe that this is the sixth. This is actually the sixth movie, not the fourth. And it's 1992, Amityville 1992. It's about time, and he is flabbergasted. And I didn't really think about this until recently, but yeah, like wasn't the second in like late 80s?
Yeah, second was 82.
Oh, okay.
And the third was 83.
83. I mean, it's still 90, so it's 10 years.
I am flabbergasted, and I was fucking fired up when you said that on the Patreon, but now I'm thinking like I had no reason to believe this was part 4 other than I made that up in my head. But yeah, I was under the impression this was the fourth one.
Yeah, well, guess what? It's definitely the one we needed to do. Well, although I've heard, is Curse the Dollhouse? No.
That's Amityville Dollhouse.
Oh, I'm excited for that one too.
They are so lazy with their fucking titles.
I'm so excited to talk about this title, and we can't talk about why it's called this until we actually get to that part in the movie.
Dude, the title rules. Honestly, this movie might be okay.
I like this movie. I don't mind this movie at all. It's
pretty fun.
I kind of fucking like it. I kind of
Dude,
fucking
it's way better than I was anticipating. Dude, yeah, I'm glad you said that.
The movie like ended, and I was like, that was such an easy watch. Like I could watch that again.
Dude,
like,
exactly. Dude, it's the most like stereotypical early 90s horror, right? But
I was fine with it, dude. I was absolutely fucking fine with it. I actually kind of had fun. But also, welcome to Dead Dog November on the Horror Show, because another fucking movie with a brutal dog fucking murder. Like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? I don't hate it. I really fucking love it. There's Tony Randall directed this. This guy
did Hellraiser 2.
We should start thinking about doing a horror show like Hall of Fame, because Tony Randall
would be in it. All right.
Tony Randall's up there, dude. He did Ticks.
Yeah, he did do Ticks, yeah. And he did Shark and Saw Woman Prison Massacre.
Shark and Saw, like not Shark and Saw, like Arkansas, the state, but with shark attached to it.
I'm fine with him being the inaugural inductee to the horror show.
He did that movie Children of the Fucking Night for Fangoria in like 91. Hellraiser 2. He wrote a lot of shit too. Godzilla 1985, which my understanding is not a lot of people love that one, is what I've heard. Listen, he's the producer of A Doggone Christmas.
Okay.
And A Doggone Hollywood. In case you were clamoring for that. I don't know, man. That's a good alum right there. That's a good alum. Doing Ticks, we did a live show on that, and that was another one that was weird as fuck.
It was, but I kind of liked it.
I did too.
That's Tony's MO.
Dude, and
I kind of like them.
Fucking, and there's a dead dog in that too. What is this guy's fucking deal?
This guy's a fucking asshole. You know what? I'm changing my mind.
Do you remember that? Because everyone got fucking mad because we picked. Like, we knew there was going to be a fucking dead dog scene. Well, I had pre-watched it, so I guess everyone was upset that I didn't warn anyone. So here's your warning, everybody.
Hey, just for those wondering, Amityville 4 is called The Evil Escapes. It came out in 1989, straight to TV, which is an interesting choice. And then in 1990, the fifth one was called The Amityville Curse, which, good God, on the cover is just a man hanging from a tree in front of the Amityville house.
I've heard that one is like not terrible. and I don't know who that's actually probably not true, but I think one person messaged me and was like, I love this one. And I was like, okay. And then from there on out, I just said it's not that bad of a movie.
Dude, I'm kind of invested. I'm kind of okay with revisiting all the Amityvilles.
I'm so curious, especially after this one, dude. This is number 6, and like, I had some fun, man. I had some fun, and then I was like, when have I not had fun in an Amityville one? Now, like, did we like 3? I can't even. Oh, wait, what is 3 again?
3 is the 3D one. I liked.
Oh yeah. I didn't love 3 with yeah. I don't know. I just like the idea of it. And this one like rewrites basically every fucking other movie ever in the franchise, which is fucking hilarious. That it's no longer the house. It's no longer the fucking house. Tony Randall was like, yeah, nah, fuck, we're changing the story.
But it's still canon. It's still canon with the first 3 because at the end of Amity 3D, the house blows up.
Yes.
And in this one, the guy brings something back from the house because he went on a business trip to Amityville and he saw a demolished house. Which, what are you doing? What are you on a business trip? You're like digging through rubble?
Because he's an architect. They were using that land as a development.
I know, but like, I don't know. Like, are you going to be with your business partners? Be like, oh, let me just dig through this shit for a second.
A fucking clock for a clock. From like really a crime scene, right? It's not like you thought the rubble was there by accident.
Crime scene that needs to be blocked off forever.
But like I'm saying, if you see rubble of a house, like a burned down house, you're not gonna like go digging through it and being like, I'm taking this home.
No, dude, that's what I'm saying.
There's juju in this.
Especially if you're on a business meeting, they're like, oh, I'm not working with this guy. He's fucking psychotic.
This title is something else. It's About Time is like the funniest fucking thing I'd ever heard. There's so many menacing
things. It's the least subtle title ever.
Dude, but there's also so many things that you could use that's like way more menacing with time. Like, I don't know, payback time or time's up. Like there's menacing shit you could say about time, and instead they choose like a ghost that's just super fucking annoyed. Like, it's about fucking time.
And we have a character say that line at the end of the movie.
It's my favorite thing ever. But then I was like, because like, once the time stuff starts coming into play, I was like, wait, is the title like not, it's about time? Is it, it's about time?
Okay, I'm glad we're having this combo.
Like, it's a movie about time.
it encaptures all of it. Because yes, it's about time. I don't even know. I don't know like the correct terms, like the correct grammar terms for this. But yes, it's about time, meaning like finally, and also it's telling you that this movie is about time, about actual time.
That's the funniest thing to think about. It's about time. Amityville, 1992. It's about time. It's about time. Like, that's the funniest fucking thing. Like, I started laughing like as soon as I saw it. I was like, that would be amazing if that was like somebody's idea. Like they were like, that's so good. Like you got Stephen Mocht.
The dad from Monster Squad.
Yep, Monster Squad, and he was in Graveyard Shift too. You got Sean Weatherly as Andrea, the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend. She was a Miss Universe winner.
She's Jill from Baywatch.
Yes, and Megan Ward, who plays Jill, the daughter in this movie.
Lisa, I think. Lisa's her name.
Oh, Lisa. I'm sorry. She was in like some of my favorite movies, and I always had a crush on her, and I didn't realize.
Encino Man?
Dude, I was not an Encino Man guy. Joe's Apartment, PCU.
Yes.
And by the way, Freaked is probably something we should do for a live show.
Freaked has been requested heavily.
It has it. I think we should probably do that soon.
Okay.
I totally forgot.
I love Freaked.
Dude, the dog boy is so stupid. Like
Keanu.
Fucking insane. So that's cool. And then Jonathan Painter, who plays the boyfriend of Andrea in this, he was like on Survivor 4 times. He does not have this role listed on his Wikipedia page, which I find very interesting. Very interesting. And he also wrote.
I bet you he has Down Periscope listed though.
He does.
I had a Down Periscope poster hanging in my room as a kid.
Down Periscope is like fucking like not bad. This guy also ended up writing that movie, the fucking Poo Poo Pee Pee Man, the Bye Bye Man.
He did, yes.
Which is fucking insane. That's so fucking bizarre. The poo poo. That movie was fucking terrible. Remember there was like 2 movies that came out and they were like the same year. It was like the Bye Bye Man and then that fucking the Snowman one. And it was just movies where nothing fucking happened. And people were like, why did you make these fucking movies? So fucking weird.
Dude, actually, I remember somebody wrote, it was when the Bye Bye Man came out and people were making the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man posters. And somebody was like, this is the problem with like the horror genre. Like, it doesn't matter if it's going to knock it out the park. Like, we just have to respect people for doing it and having a vision, blah, blah. And then they saw it like the next day and they're like, this is the worst movie I've ever fucking seen. I just always remember those 2 stances and how like quickly he turned.
It's such a fucking joke. It's like, it's like just contrarianism. And I know exactly who we're fucking talking about. A fucking idiot, fucking Freddy, whatever the fuck. Dipshit. Fucking, because he's like, dude, it's just like looking at, it's just like seeing contrarianism like in its finest, because like it was so bad that you couldn't even like stick to it, so you were like, oh no, actually it's really fucking bad, fuck that guy. Like, what? Just lectured the fucking internet about fucking respecting everything, you fucking moron.
But hey, Damon Martin is Rusty Sterling in this, and he is Chip from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. Fuck. He also has a shirt on here that like I was really hoping was a real band, but isn't. I don't think.
Oh, was it the Skull Crushers?
Yeah.
Because he mentioned them like twice, but no, I don't think they're.
Dude, when I have it written down, but when he's like, this reminds me of a Skull Crusher song, and then he says lyrics that don't mean anything or relate to what they're talking about at all.
I mean, like, Rusty's a fucking idiot.
The fact that this, oh my God, okay. You want to get into this movie? Because, like...
I just want to say Dick Miller is in this, too. And Dick Miller is the greatest character actor ever. Like, you've seen him in Chopping Mall and The Burbs and Gremlins, Terminator. I mean, he's just the best. And even in this, he's on screen for like 30 seconds, and he probably has the most memorable lines in this movie. The lady asks him like a legitimate question. He is so fucking annoyed and appalled that she's asking that. He just reminded me of my dad.
Dude, that's what I was going to say. He is your fucking dad. Most of the time, he is your fucking dad. Like, most of the time, his bit is just to be like, what are you, fucking stupid? Like, why are you asking me that fucking stupid shit? And the way he looks at him is just like, oh, like, you're fucking, like, it disgusts him that he has to answer.
The house, dude, I can... thank you. I know we'll talk about it when we get there, but the house catches on fire and they put it out immediately. Like, yeah, that done. Sucks, right? It sucks, but it's done. Like, nobody died, minimal damage, right? And Lee's like, wow, we're lucky. And he's just like, oh, yeah, we're real lucky. The fucking house was just on fire. And that's like exactly what my dad would say.
It's so
Lucky's winning the lotto. Now I'm having your house catch on fire. All right, guy. Fucking.
That's so fucking funny. It's so fucking true. Oh, lucky. Like, that's what I thought, dude. And by the way, I thought it was just like shrubs on fire. And it was shrubs because he was like, I'm sure Jacob doesn't know anything about this because he hates the fucking height of the shrubs. And you're like, oh, okay. So it's not even like the house was burned down and the whole neighborhood was out. They contained it within seconds. Dude, from the time the girl gets out of her car to go look at that,
it was out. Yeah,
to get there, it was
a best case scenario for any fire, right?
Real fucking lucky. That's the fucking funniest shit. Also, real quick, I guess we should do a little bit of house cleaning here. Live. Nope. We're at Monster Mania Con this Friday and Saturday in Oaks, PA. Come out, say hello. We'll be there farting around, getting drunk, and hanging out with you guys. So come chill with us. And that's that. And we got the store up, IHateHorror.com. You just click store. You can order your new merch there. And thank you all for everyone that ordered stuff. Because I don't have to pack it, I was not paying attention to how many orders we got. And it was fucking insane. And I am so fucking glad I'm not packing that shit. Like, I saw the numbers. I was like, I'm gonna fucking cry. Like, I would be fucking dead. Like, I would not be alive. I'm barely alive as we speak. But that would definitely fucking put me over the edge. So thank you all for doing that. And if you want some, and we're going to start like rotating designs in and out. So, I would say, cause these are all like, we re-released all of our old designs for the most part, pretty much all of our old designs. So if you want them, go get them, because eventually I will take them down. Probably the start of the new year. I'll keep the newer designs up, like the "You Piece of Shit" one. And then we'll just start rotating some new ones in and out. But I would say if you want those old ones, I'll probably take them down eventually. So, you might want to hop on it. What else? Do we have anything else to promote? No more contests. Thank you all for those people. That's that, I guess. All right. So Amityville, 1992, released, in July, 1992, straight to video. It's for somehow gotten multiple DVD releases over the years, including our fellas over at Vinegar Syndromes. Yeah. They released one. They released a cool Amityville box set, and I wish I've gotten it now. Dude, I don't know why I fucking like this series now. It's fucking insane. I'm in. It's fucking insane. And by the way, it's not an Amityville movie unless there's some incest or weird sex stuff. And guess what? They crammed it in. I didn't think they would, and they fucking did it. And I don't know how they did it. And I was like, get the fuck out of here.
This time I was actually fine with it. I'm like, you know what?
It worked.
Fine, because it's happened in the other two, so it would be weird not to happen.
So fucking consistent with incest.
Yeah. They did their homework.
Well, we gotta include that. Fuck, dude. Fuck. I love it. So we open up this movie not in Amityville, and that's very clear because there's palm trees. We are in California. We see this old lady walking by the house. And we see, Stephen Mack playing Jacob, who also is for sure like the Eric Roberts like fill-in, right? Like, write the role for Eric Roberts. Get this guy.
He does look like Eric, but I do find it hard to believe Eric Roberts
would turn anything down.
I would turn it down. Eric Roberts is busy, and he's probably the busiest actor ever. Like,
that's true.
He has never turned a role down.
Right. There's only so many.
Have you ever seen his filmography? It's like 400 movies. Nuts.
He returns home. Jacob returns home, as Joe already mentioned, with to his who you think is his wife, but it's actually his ex-girlfriend who's watching the kids, who are basically adults and do not need a fucking babysitter.
Those are not kids.
We're fucking free-thinking adults.
They're all like romantic relationships. Like, very, very much independent.
Very independent. You got Jacob the dad, Lisa the daughter? No. What's her name?
Yeah, Lisa's the daughter.
Lisa the daughter. I got their names all fucked up.
Andrea's the ex-girlfriend.
Rusty the son, Andrea the ex-girlfriend, who is there to watch the adult children. And dude, gives the dad, when the dad comes in, she's like holding like a fucking ruler, and the dad is like, what's that? And she's like, protection. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But then she proceeds to talk about the kids as if they're like little. Like, he's like, how were they? And she's like, Rusty could really use some like one-on-one time with you. Wait, what? Rusty's 19 years old. Like,
19. And also, by the way, Rusty is fucking fine. They bring that up often. It's like Rusty is sheltered and like he's troubled. And like, yeah, there's things that happen where they point things to Rusty, but in terms of like the family dynamic, Rusty could not be happier to see his dad. All he does is want to talk to him. And his dad's the one who's just like, fuck off, Rusty, I'm busy.
Dude, like constantly. Rusty is like also like the only person thinking in the house and talking calmly the entire time. Like there's never really a moment where Rusty loses.
Well, he's fucking too calm, Sean, because he figures out some like diabolical stuff and he's trying to explain it. And the way that he's like trying to convince Andrea, of course, nobody believes you. He's just like, well, yeah, that's because it's evil and it's a box. Like, okay, fuck you, Rusty.
Dude, I have that written down so many times because Rusty literally sees shit that would change your fucking life. And Rusty's like, Jesus fucking Christ, and like walks away.
I've been saying that. Like, Rusty, get a little fucking concerned, and people might believe you,
dude. When it's like at the very edge, where finally Andrea's about to learn that like this is like a spirit or whatever. Like she goes to Rusty, and Rusty's like, "I told you it's evil." And like, Rusty, why? Even now, you're not convincing.
He's fucking lounging with his feet up while he's saying that.
Playing guitar. I told you it's evil. What? Of course. No one fucking believes you.
He's still in the house, yeah. There's a fucking demonic entity.
I told you it's evil. She's like, yeah, no, I heard that. And still, no, what the fuck are you saying? And then, dude, he's always like, yeah, the neighbor thinks it's evil too. Rusty, what? Bring her over, do something.
I mean, that's like when we talk about like the ADA on the ADA episodes when people see hauntings or something, or they think they see UFOs. All of the witnesses that get called in are like, these people believe that they saw something, whether it was paranormal or not. Like they believe they saw something, and I'm convinced of that. That's the opposite for Rusty.
Right.
Like Rusty has seen some shit, and there's not a soul on earth that would believe Rusty.
And the dad, Jacob, walks in. He's got a box. And Rusty, again, like you said, is like happy to see him, dude. Like so happy for him to be home.
He says, hi, Dad, which is more than like you can ask for most teenage boys.
Absolutely.
At that age.
Absolutely.
And the dad's like, there's my cheerful son. Like, hey, guy, fucking be grateful.
There's my dude said hi. Like, and there's not a moment where he's really ever like nasty. Like, the high is very cheerful. Like, the high is like, it's a kid. I don't know. Jacob, though, the dad has brought home a clock.
Yes.
It's a clock that he stole from a demolished house. It's not the nicest clock. I would not have brought it home.
It's just a clock. Yeah.
We learn a little bit about the dynamics of Andrea and Jacob here. And it doesn't seem like it was a very good relationship whatsoever. Like, not even.
It seems like the kids hated her because, okay, they're broken up and she's dating somebody, Lenny, who will come into play later. I mean, it's all very bizarre, but they're broken up and she's like, these kids, like, they hate me. And he's like, your wife's dead and I just can't compete with a dead woman.
It was crazy.
Is there any like point where any of them seemed like they hated her?
I actually would argue that they seemed like they actually cared for her and loved her.
Yeah, I agree.
The daughter, when the daughter finds Andrea's like, hey, I'm bringing like, or she's on the phone and she's like, all right, I'll see you this weekend. Hangs up. And the daughter's like, oh, is that your new boyfriend? Like, happy. Like,
she's invested. There's like one scene that they wrote in where Rusty's like, are you going to be back tonight? And she's like, yeah, I think so. And he's just like, whatever.
They wrote in like 3 scenes where Rusty like says something snarky, and you're like, that's like the most uncharacteristic Rusty thing we've seen so far. And it's always just like under his breath. It's not even that bad. It's like like you said, it's like exactly how you'd the best you could have hoped for from a teenage boy. Like, you're like, that would be great if that's all they did was just like walk away and be like, huh, all right, fucking okay. But somehow this fucking eyesore Jacob gets this fucking girl to just fuck him.
She's going home to her boyfriend and he's just talking so close to her face, being like, "It's raining outside. Like, you might as well stay the night." And that sells her. That she's sold. I know it's California and they're not used to rain, but
yeah, I don't know.
She's in.
She's in. He gets her to fuck her again, even though she was like we just said, like the entire lead up to them having sex is her being like, "This life that I had with you was a fucking nightmare." And I hated every second of it. And then that somehow leads to the
sweatiest sex scene
of all
I've ever seen in film. Period. It honestly made me uncomfortable. Like, for the actors, they're just dripping and drenched in sweat. It's disgusting.
And then they talk for entirely too long about dating and also the clock for some reason. He's just like, "Oh, that clock." Okay, we got it. And, you know, this is 1992. We had plenty of movie magic at the time. We were able to put overlay sound to, you know, over a film to, you know, if somebody was attempting to play music, you could actually make them play music by laying an audio track over it of real music.
You could just have to have Rusty
or you could
plucking one string for the entire movie.
Just have Rusty making the most insane fucking noise on a guitar. You just wanted to fucking poke your eyes out. and his amplifier is never playing. It's always just connected to his headphones. So all you hear is like the fucking strings, like the fucking empty strings, not the fucking guitar, which is probably for the best, but fucking insane, dude. But Rusty gets distracted. He goes downstairs to get a little soda pop. I thought this was his dog. It's not. It's actually the neighbor's dog.
It's the neighbor's. Yeah.
Starts acting weird, which
it's in the house.
It's in the house.
and Rusty's again. Like, that in of itself would be alarming for anybody in any character. Like, if I walked downstairs, my neighbor's dog was in my house, I would be very concerned.
Yes.
But he's just like, "What are you doing in here, old sport?"
Oh,
and
fucking
just lets
Peaches.
it out. He doesn't even walk it back to the neighbor's house. Just fucking lets it out.
His kitchen door is wide open. Peaches is just standing in the fucking doorway. Like, you would at least close the fucking door. But he's like, "Oh, hang on. Let me go through the refrigerator, Peaches. I gotta get myself a beverage before I deal with you." Peaches then closes the door on him, which is, I don't know why I thought that was so fucking funny. And then sits in front of the clock.
Well, also, you're saying it now. So.
Yeah, goes and stands in front of the clock and starts barking. The barking incident leads Rusty to go investigate what the hell is going on. He goes to the living room, flicks the light switch on, and it turns into a medieval torture chamber.
Yes, now, not the same room. And also the dog's eyes were glowing red, so it was getting possessed at that time.
Now, also, I didn't even pick up on that. But, like, that doesn't even make sense. Anyway, whatever. We'll get to it. Of
course. Well, it does at the next part. Next scene.
The fucking light switch thing was crazy because he flips it on, sees that, and flips it off. And you're like, "Oh, okay, now he'll flip it on and it'll be nothing." He keeps flicking it on and off, and it just keeps showing him the fucking medieval room. Like, it never stops.
But when it's dark, you can see that it's the normal room. And
yes.
In classic Rusty fashion, which anyone else would like run upstairs, he just goes, "You gotta be fucking kidding me."
That's it. That's his reaction. And then walks up the stairs to go to bed like nothing fucking happened. Like, he gets scared because he sees his dad on the
yells
stairs.
At him for like being out of his room too late. And he doesn't even tell his dad.
He doesn't tell his dad. He's like, the dad is going, "What are you doing down there?" And Rusty's like, "I don't know, man. I was just down there." And he's like, "What the fuck were you doing down there?" And Rusty's like, "Oh." You're not going to mention that? Like, I mean, I know that's insane, but like, what the fuck? Anyway, Neighbors is the Peaches dog, and we find that out because the dad goes for on a run the next day. But is this Peaches or not?
Well, it's like a doppelganger, right? Because, all right, well, let's talk about the scene. First off, they wake up and Andrea has the most comically large cup of coffee I've ever seen. It would fit like the entire pot of coffee if you poured it into there. I don't even know where they found a prop like that. Did you pick up on it?
No,
because the camera like pans out, but it starts on that cup. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Clown cup. But anyways, that's irrelevant. The dad's going for a run, and the neighbor and the dog are just standing there. And I actually think it's a pretty cool
great
shot.
scene. I fucking love it. I fucking loved it.
Standing there, not moving, and the dog runs after Jacob, and Jacob starts trying to escape by climbing a fence, and the dog is just mauling its leg, like absolutely mauling it.
It was a crazy scene because Jacob, there's a fence there. You see Jacob jump as soon as the dog starts running at him. You're like, oh, it's going to be one of those close call moments or whatever. Dog grabs his leg. You're like, okay, he'll get away with it. He'll get away just with this bite, but that's cool that they let him bite it. This dog almost rips the fucking leg off. It's actually
rips it off. There's a part where you can like see the other half of the leg wobbling because it's like biting through the bone.
Dude, it's so crazy. And then Jacob stabs it with a broken bottle, and you're like, when he winds up, you're like, okay, this is crazy. They're gonna kill this dog, but like, at least it's over. No, the dog fucking fights through it and just fucking murdering Jacob.
A shank through the face and just keeps tearing him apart. It's wild.
Which is even better when it cuts to the hospital next, and Andrea's waiting, and the doctor comes out, and she's like, "Is he okay?" And he goes, "Just some discomfort." This motherfucker's leg was almost ripped off. Discomfort, just a mild discomfort.
Well, listen, you know what? That doctor's a fucking idiot because, as we'll see later, he's released like immediately. Like even Andrea honestly has the most sense throughout this whole movie because even in this part, she's like, "Shouldn't you keep him overnight?" And he's like, "No, he's fine. Like, we'll release him." They just wrapped gauze around him, and it's bleeding through the gauze the entire time. And Andrea has to clean it by like pouring alcohol into it. They didn't even stitch this guy up. This guy has like 3-inch thick wounds from the top of his quad all the way down to his calf. Not a single stitch, just open wounds.
Which is amazing because later when the therapist comes into play, he kind of suggests that maybe Jacob did the wounds himself. Which,
yes.
Like, it's a fucking animal fucking attack. Fucking crazy.
But he thinks that because, you know, Jacob was just attacked by this dog, by the neighbor. Andrea comes home and she's talking to Rusty about it. And they're like, let's go talk to the neighbor. Like, let's see what the fuck's going on. They get to the neighbor's house and the neighbor's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Like, we've been here. My dog's been here the whole time. And Rusty, probably the only time he has any common sense in the film, was like, well, show me the dog because my dad said that he stabbed it in the face with the glass. And she's like, well, he didn't. The dog's totally fine. And Rusty's just like, show me him. Like, bring him out here. Bring the dog out. Not a single wound.
Not a single wound.
So that's why the guy thinks that at the end, because there's no proof that dog did anything.
Right. But like, this is all fucking crazy. But like, did the dog do something or no?
No, I think it's like a doppelganger.
Yeah. That's fucking insane. And by the way, the entire time, Jacob is now becoming more disgruntled. And Andrea, the only person that gives a fuck about this guy, he's just like, you fucking piece of shit. And like, just constantly screaming at her. Dude, she like is walking him in the house and he's like, way to fucking help me. And you're like, what? This is fucking nuts, dude. Like,
and like, that's consistent with the other Amityville movies. Like the house, makes the husband or the man of the house, slowly lose their mind and turn into an asshole. Yeah. And that's not an exception here, except this time he's supposed to be a bed rest. And he just wants to keep drawing pictures of houses, and all of them are the Amityville house. He draws over and over and over again.
Yeah, and then this is also that scene where they go to visit the dog is when Rusty, he goes, they're like talking about the dog, like attacking him. And Rusty's like, it's just like that Skull Crusher song that goes, evil rules, it has the tools. The world's your oyster. Grab the hoister. What? What does that have to do with anything? I've never heard words that mean less.
And Rusty just he is so hung up on the word evil for the rest of the movie. Just be like, well, it's just evil.
Yo, those lyrics are fucking nuts. And by the way, you would expect Andrea, an adult woman, to be like, what the fuck does that mean? And she's like, listen, I don't have time to listen to rock music right now.
You know what? Fair, Andrea. But we do get a bona fide Mangle expert.
Oh my god!
We find out
the Queen. I think it's Ted Levine and whatever this actress's name is. I'll pull it up.
She's from Hogan's Heroes. Nita Talbot.
Nita Talbot. And fucking Ted Levine is our king and queen. I have never seen anything quite like this. When Rusty goes over there which is like later in the movie, but it's fine.
We see her in the first scene, by the way.
Yes, she was the woman across
She's standing outside the house, just staring at it, shaking her head, being like,
yeah, they call her Mrs. They refer
Iris.
What is it?
Iris,
but she has a last name because for the first half of the movie, they're calling her
Wheeler, Mrs. Wheeler.
Yeah, they're calling her Mrs. Wheeler for the first half, and then suddenly everyone's just like calling her Iris, including Rusty, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, he's like, hey, Iris, and you're like, what?
Dude, Rusty skips Rusty skips school to play chess, and she's like, oh, you're back to finish the round, and he's like, yeah, and he loses in one move immediately.
Dude, wait, imagine leaving like that. Like, imagine leaving the game, like, with one move. Like, she would have just been like, can you just fucking make one
dude, why would you let him leave? Or just fucking end it. Like, just let me take my turn. Because she goes first anyways.
That's fucking funny.
She knows everything about what's happening in this house without knowing like
knowing nothing.
Dude, all Rusty knows at this point is he saw a medieval room in his house and that his dad was attacked by the neighbor's dog, but the dog didn't have any wounds.
That's it.
And Iris nails the plot of all three Amityville movies.
Iris is like, can you tell me what you saw? And dude, Rusty's description is like, it was old, it was a castle, there was a table with a drawing on it. And she's like, a fucking pentagram? And he's like, how the fuck would you know that? and then she's like, hang on one second. Pulls out a book, opens it to a page with an exact drawing of the room, and is like, is this the fucking room you're talking about? And Rusty's like, holy shit, it is. She's like, just as I thought.
Dude, bona fide Mangle expert.
Bro,
now I'm with you. She's
unreal.
The queen.
And then she's like, then she tells us the whole story behind it, which now the Amityville actually has a larger backstory, which is, but like, it's actually not, because like she's like, okay, we're dealing with this room from France, the 1500s of France, with a guy that fucking ate children, a teacher that was eating children. So that's what you saw, and then she's like, well, where was your dad? And he's like, I don't know, like Amityville.
Dude, that was the best. He's like, Amityburg. And she's like, Amityville.
Fucking insane, dude. Amity Village, I don't know. Something like that.
What? Fuck, I love that character.
Dude, it's so fucking good. And she's just like, oh, fucking Amityville. And then she pulls out a fucking picture of the Amityville house instantly. The house. And then sees the clock on the mantle and is like, holy fuck. And then looks at the French thing and there's a clock there and she's like, holy fucking shit.
It's about time.
It's about time. It's about time. It's about the time. She puts it all together and she's like, she has rewritten Amityville history with the reveal that the clock is the evil thing.
Yeah.
The clock is carrying it from France to Amityville. I love that it got to Long Island. What a trip. What a fucking trip. Can you imagine anything lasting from like that long ago? The fucking 16th century or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be.
Great. I mean, I'm sure there's some heirlooms around.
Can't fucking. We start seeing before that. Well, I don't know why we did that entire segment because that doesn't happen until like much later. Back at home, Rusty.
Well, he plays the chess first. He does play the chess first.
Does he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rusty goes home and he's torturing his this is actually like the worst we see of Rusty, which is like he's just terrorizing his family, talking about graphic dog attacks for some reason. And they're just like, oh, stop it, Rusty. Rusty leaves the room for like a split second, then comes back, and time has fast forwarded.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little late. And he's missed dinner, and they're like, yeah, you got up, you left, and you never came back. And he's like, oh, what the fuck? We do meet Andrea's boyfriend, who is Lenny. Or no, I don't think we meet him yet. But we see that Andrea has
we see what happens to the neighbor's house first.
Yeah, that's right. So we learn that she has a boyfriend, he's a psychiatrist, and that's that. That's what we get from him so far. There's like a lot of common sense in this movie, which I think is something that I actually kind of like. There's like some moments where you're like, yeah, that's what I would fucking do. Like, that's what I would fucking say for sure. Like, they do not latch onto the evil until literally they've all like experienced it and seen
it. It's the last option.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, common sense. Andrea is like, she's a great character because she's very realistic in how she's handling all this. Just being like, of course it's not fucking evil. Like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Something, you guys are just all losing your minds.
Yeah. And they all keep repeating it, even when they do experience it at points. Like, Lenny and Andrea both experience it and are both still like, no, this isn't fucking evil. Like, that's not an option.
We're overstressed. We're exhausted and tired and like, hallucinating.
That night, the daughter gets locked into the living room. Andrea's door opens on its own and she wakes up next to a blood blob, which gets on her hands, but that disappears. And this is when Andrea starts thinking it's Rusty, because he happened to be taking a walk when all of this happened. And she's just like, dude, again, like, Rusty has like been mostly fine with everything. Like, Rusty hasn't been fucking that bad. And she's like, I've got my fucking eye on you, Rusty. And you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. No wonder Rusty doesn't like you. Like, it's fucking nuts.
And I do have to say, I'm sorry, I think I gave Rusty too much credit because I think I said that it was his idea to go to the neighbor's house, but it was actually the doctor's idea to ask the neighbor if the dog had been vaccinated for rabies.
Oh, yes, I did. I actually was going to point that out. That was actually something I wanted to point out because, dude, the doctor mentions the rabies vaccine like 18 fucking times in that thing. Like, just to give us that scene. She's like, was the dog vaccinated for rape? Dude, it's a dog attack. Like, how would you know that? And they're like, we don't know. And she's like, well, a rabies vaccine is very important. And before we give him a rabies vaccination, we should find out if the dog has a rabies vaccination. So can you find out if he has a rabies vaccination? And you're like,
seems like
shit.
That's
you're like,
not the right protocol.
You're like, Jesus fucking Christ, that seems nuts. Dude, you would just give him a rabies vaccine. You would just be like, you need to take this because we don't know what that fucking dog had.
Yeah.
End of story. Hey, you better figure this out before we go poking needles where they don't belong. Hey, that's... What the fuck are we doing?
So they go there, but Rusty is the one that's like, let us see the dog because it's supposed to be stabbed. So
and the dog,
give him some credit.
Dude, and the doctor was so concerned about rabies. That guy's leg was torn apart. She's like, God forbid he gets fucking rabies.
And they didn't stitch it, dude. He's gonna die of gangrene in a fucking.
They put a cloth wrap over it. It's just a fucking open wound. Like, what the fuck is that? And speaking of the dog attack, Peach's owner finds fucking Peach's head in the pool filter, which is fucking a wild fucking moment.
And then to add insult to injury, she has a giant swastika written on her garage door.
That was so bizarre. And Andrea comes
That's
up
so
and
uncalled
like,
for. It's like, the dog's enough, right?
The dog is it. The dog is all you need. You could have that same scene with the police, but being like, somebody put her fucking dog's head in the fucking pool filter.
Yeah.
But instead, on top of it, fucking hate crime. Fucking what?
Yeah. Hey, Tony Randall, a decapitated pet's head is more than enough for the police and the town to be outraged.
And to think it might be.
They would all have them, like, they would know that Rusty is probably a suspect.
Right. Anyone in that family.
Why would Rusty be a Nazi?
Dude, like, that's the funniest part because Jacob's drawing like insane shit at this point. He's just drawing clocks and fucking shit. And Andrea, and after the swastika thing, because the police come up to her and are like, "Where the fuck is Rusty?" And Rusty's finally in school for once in his fucking life. But
Which they don't go to school. Why wouldn't they go there? They're like, "Well, wait. Well, when he gets home, you give us a call and we'll come talk."
12 p.m. on a Tuesday. Where's your school-aged kid?
It's an active crime scene. Go to the fucking school. Can you imagine if you had to wait till they came home?
It's so fucking crazy.
Which, by the way, correct me if I'm wrong. They never, like, Rusty's always fucking home.
Dude, Rusty's like never in school. That's why it's fucking nuts. No, they never come back.
Because he's always sitting in his room and everyone's just like, "Well, you're the Nazi," and he's just like,
It's so fucking funny. True. It's like his exact reaction to everything. Just like somebody barges in and is like, "You're a fucking piece of shit," and he's like, "It's evil," and then just like fucking playing Skull Crusher music. Fucking insane. And you know, after this occurs, Andrea goes up to talk to fucking Jacob about, you know, what's going on. And Jacob's drawing insane shit. And Andrea's like, "Hey, I think Rusty's a Nazi." And he's just like, "Are you fucking gone yet?" Hey, like,
dude, Andrea has no reason to still stay there. Like, she is not involved.
Dude, and her therapist boyfriend points that out in the movie, and I'm like, oh, this guy sucks, and like, he's wrong a lot, but like, he's right in this moment when he's like, they're conning you to stay here. Like, Jacob is doing this to making you stay here, like negging her almost, right? Like, just like treating her like absolute shit, and he's like, so you'll stay. And I was like, that's so like insightful for a movie that like is not insightful. Like, I was like, that's so fucking weird because that guy's a jerk like most times in the movie.
Yeah.
But occasionally he'll just like spit some facts and be like, you need to leave this fucking house. Like, this is not healthy. Why are you even fucking here? You're not dating him. Like, what does it matter? And then at one point she's like, these fucking kids need me. Andrea, again, like, these fucking kids are not children. They're adults. And they don't particularly care for you. Or what we're told, they don't care for you. And then she, for whatever reason, brings Lenny over to the house. His name's Leonard, and he's like, just call me Lenny. Which, the names in this movie, Lenny, fucking Rusty. Andrea's boyfriend, so he's a therapist, and he's in Jacob's home, and appears to live here for a period of time because days are going by and he is always in the house.
Always there. Yeah.
Fucking always. And in Jacob's house, he is like, Jacob's a lying piece of shit.
And Jacob will emerge from his room, and somehow the gray like sweatshirt that he's wearing is just getting more and more covered in actual shit. I don't even, because he's just in his room, but it's just like grime building up a sweatshirt. It's disgusting.
It's so gross. After that, we get the great Dick Miller scene where the bushes catch on fire, and he's just like, yes. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, real fucking lucky. Look at this mess. It's going to take me weeks to fix this. And Andrea continues to blame Rusty, which is fair, like as we said before, because this is actually the moment where he's like, hey man, it's an evil force, I told you that. And she's like, are you fucking serious right now?
Like that's not a thing. And also keep in mind, he keeps disappearing, but the time is speeding up, so like he's unaccounted for.
Yes,
but he doesn't think he's gone for long,
right?
He thinks he's just leaving a room. So,
and now Lenny gets to experience his first Amityville clock moment when he goes to the kitchen. Time slows down. And suddenly Jacob appears in the kitchen. He pulls out a gun on Lenny and is like, are you fucking Andrea in my house? And, he's terrified and he's like, yeah. Like he admits, yeah, I did. And then he's like, did you fuck my daughter? And Lenny's like, what the fuck? No, I would never. And there is nothing to believe that is a thing. Like there's nothing occurred that would make you think Lenny's doing that or had any intention.
Lenny's a fucking nerd,
dude. Like honestly, he is a by the book psychiatrist kind of. Well, you know what? Fucking, I take that back because when they tie him up and fucking inject him with something, he actually has like an amazing line. He has an amazing line in that moment that I was like, I would for sure say that, no matter, regardless of my profession. Like he's 100% right to say that.
No, dude, I was gonna say, because I know you're saying he's not by the books, but at some point, enough's enough. I am on Lenny's side completely for everything he does.
for the most part. But he's like, did you fuck my daughter? And like Lenny's like, no. Shoots the gun. Lenny is awake. The time has passed and he does not know what's occurred. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
But again, you would definitely think you were just like hallucinating or...
You would, but also why? Like, that's not like a normal thing.
I know, but like, I don't know. But what else? You wouldn't be like, it's a fucking clock.
But he doesn't jump to that conclusion immediately.
No, no one does actually.
Nobody but Rusty.
Nobody but Rusty.
And he's doing nothing about it. Just letting it run its course.
As we mentioned earlier, it wouldn't be Amityville without some incest or underage kid sex. And you know what? We get a real. This is before. There's some other scenes of incest later on that are better. But I counted this moment among them because I was like, you know what? I'll take this as incest when Lisa fucking fucks herself. Lisa's mirror image.
Doppelganger, yeah.
Fucks Lisa. And I was like, oh, dude, that's incest, I think.
Those who haven't seen this, that's what happens. She's looking in the mirror, which... correct me if I'm wrong. That mirror just appears, right?
Yes,
it's not like it just like pops up because she even makes like an over exaggerated like, huh? Like, looks at it like, where did that come from? But it's just her image.
Yes.
But then it starts moving on its own, and she like double takes, and then her own hands come out of the mirror and start feeling her own boobs. And starts finger fucking her.
It is like a very sexual scene.
It brings her to climax. It's very wild.
And I think it's potentially supposed to be like her first experience because like Lisa has a boyfriend has a boyfriend at the beginning that we are introduced to. And he's like, I just want to fuck as they do. And she's like, no, like we're not doing that. Like, that's not an option. Like, I don't do that shit. So like, he's
also parked directly outside of her dad's house.
Guy is a fucking
get a grip, guy.
Fucking piece of shit. So yeah, so this is like supposed to be also like something else. Next day, Rusty is begging Andrea to get the fuck out of the house. And at the breakfast table. And one of the things I love the most about fucking haunted house movies or devil movies, possession movies, is the devil just makes you so fucking cool that you like, whenever you leave the room, you like throw an apple up in the air and catch it and like take a bite out of it. Devil loves that shit. And that's what happens here with Lisa. Lisa comes down looking fly as fuck. And she's like, she's not even doing anything bad. She's like, I gotta go to school now. Like, she's getting to school on fucking time, but she just takes an apple and throws it. And it's like, devil makes it cool, man. And then that's it. They're just like, well, I guess we're staying in the house. Then
now
Rusty,
we go to Iris, right?
they go to Iris, that's the scene we talked about where she pulls out.
No. Isn't this Iris's demise?
No, not yet. Wait. Yes and no. So it's both. It's right. So first you get him, you get the book scene, the chess book scene. That all goes down. So she has figured out that Amityville is somehow connected to the clock and to 15th century France. And then, that's the next scene. So she goes outside for whatever reason. No,
she's because Rusty leaves, and that's when she has like the Kaiser Soze moment where she's like piecing everything together. Oh shit! And she's like, I gotta go warn Rusty. But she also walks with a cane.
She walks with a cane.
Yeah,
it's the slowest thing I've ever seen. And then time slows down, and you're like, okay, so what's gonna happen? Her cane gets stuck in the street, which is like doing Ghostbuster 2 secret. No, Ghostbuster 2 wasn't Secret of the Ooze. Whatever. Ooze is coming out of the pavement. She gets stuck. And then a stork van? A milk van?
What is that delivering? Is it milk?
Babies? Dude,
I thought it was going to be babies.
Baby delivery?
Stork.
He looks like a milkman, but there's just storks all over everything. I think strictly just to murder Mrs. Wheeler, Iris here, because there's no other reason a delivery van would have anything else on it. But she's stuck. She's stuck in the road. The stork van, the brakes come up and it starts rolling towards her. But then you can see that it's not just rolling; it is controlled by something. She is free to move, but her cane is stuck. But she refuses to let go of her cane. She's just like, ah! Until the van is so close. Then she finally jumps behind like a stone, like driveway pillar that protects her. And she lays on the ground cackling for fucking full minute.
Cackling, but while she's cackling, we watch this big fucking stork with the huge beak that's mounted on the top of the van just sway back and forth while she's cackling. I mean, anyone with eyes would be like, I should probably like roll out of the way in case this thing that's wobbling back and forth. As you can see, the thing is so big you'd see that from a mile away. It's wobbling back and forth for literally like 2 minutes. Yeah, she's staring at it and laughing.
Like at one point, she starts doing like what crowds do when like there's like a drunk guy swaying like on the stairs. Like she's doing that on the ground laughing, and you're like, what the fuck? Would you fucking roll out of the fucking way? Like, what are you doing?
An inch. Like I know it hurts to walk without your cane. Just scoot on your butt like an inch out of the way.
You know this is life or death. That is a stork beat. Like you'd be like, that's gonna fucking impale me. Like you'd be like, and it does, and it's a cool scene. It's a cool fucking scene.
It falls off. It goes right through her stomach.
And her scream is so funny. So funny.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite kill in this movie.
Yeah, Rusty then goes back to Iris's house, which is ransacked for some reason. Rusty lets himself the fuck in. As if the whole neighborhood wouldn't know that woman just got fucking impaled by a giant fucking fiberglass stork. He's like, well, Iris, are you home? Meanwhile, back at the other house, Jacob's just bleeding all over the fucking place. It's unreal. Fucking most disgusting wound ever. Andrew tries to call the hospital, and Jacob tries to kill her by strangling her with the fucking phone cord.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck. But she escapes by bashing him in the head. And that's when Lenny returns. They've tied him up, and he injects him with some drug that's going to make him sleep for several days. And this is the line that I was talking about before, because Andrea's like, is it dangerous? And he goes, I hope so. And I was like, that is 1,000% what I would fucking say. Because he even waits way too long to be like, it's fucking fine. He's just going to fucking sleep for a while. Dude, if this guy's doing this, I would absolutely be like, yeah, I fucking sure hope it is. Like, why are you so concerned? Like, this guy literally tried to strangle you to death. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Now that Lisa is possessed, she's also super fucking horny.
Horned up.
Making out with that boyfriend who is now like, your dad's in there. And she's like, it's fine. Follow the trail. Count to 10 and follow the trail. And that's a trail of her clothes that she has left for him. Leading him, luring him to a room with a giant toy train set. Why is that in this room? Why did we need it in the scene? You could have just had her lay on a table, fucking the ground. I don't think there's anything that really needed the train, but that's what we got. And she tricks him to come towards her, where he falls into what appears to be like the blob.
Yeah, it's a gelatinous blob in the bathtub
that melts you.
Yes,
that melts you. Well, it's just on the floor. He falls into it in the floor, and then it comes out into the bathtub of Lenny. Lenny's taking a bath at the same time.
That's right. Yes.
And fucking the melty boyfriend comes out of the fucking faucet and in the tub with him. It's fucking wild, man. Everyone's experiencing this, and still no one is like, dude, Lenny is like, there is somebody in here. And Andrea like looks, and you know, the guy's gone. But like everyone is just like, no, that's not real. Like none of this is fucking real. Like this is all and we know we're approaching the prime evil, because the clock literally has a devil face painted on it, and it's like slowly coming to that time. It's fucking insane. Imagine bringing that home. It's a demon face. It keeps cutting, and it's like getting closer to demon time, and you're like, everyone's just like, it's fine. It's almost demon time. It's cool. Andrea is now like finally realizing there might be something more to this. She sees Lisa, who's just like acting insane, and is like, I'm in love. She goes into Jacob's room, which has been kind of like locked out. Everyone's been locked out of it, to find his big development plan is just 1,000,000 Amityville houses. Big, small, all different sizes, just 1,000,000 Amityville houses. But the biggest one has the graves with the entire family's name on it. Andrea's name, the kids' names. And you're like, oh shit. While this is happening, she's hearing like a knocking outside the window. Opens the shutters to find Lenny fucking hanging dead. Deader than a fucking doornail.
Great scene.
Yeah. I like this fucking movie.
Rapping against the house. Yeah.
The house is dark now. That kind of just happens. I don't know. It's like the only movie where they're not like, whoa, when the lights go out. The lights just go out and everyone's just like, oh, of course they did. Like, and she's terrified, but she finds, she's trying to find Jacob, like, or not try to find him, but she's like, she assumes Jacob's loose. But she runs into the arms of Randy. They almost had a romantic arc at the end that I was just like, ooh, this is kind of weird. Like, I know it wasn't almost an arc. That's kind of an exaggeration, but like they became like the couple at the end, like towards the end, like they were like Rusty.
Yeah, I mean, the final two. Yeah.
Rusty and fucking Andrea. It was kind of weird. And Rusty's like, I'll take care of you, which is like way more than the fucking dad ever did. And they're just like, we're getting all the spooky stuff. They're pulling doorknobs, blood shooting out of it. Randy's hearing Lisa scream. Dude, they show the police show up, but that does not, nothing happens with that.
Dude, they show the police knocking on the door, and that's literally it.
I don't even remember that. Like, I saw the car. I don't remember. Oh yeah, I guess I do. That's so stupid. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's a fucking total waste of time. Anyway, Rusty goes up, finds Lisa in his room, blood everywhere, just blood fucking everywhere. And she's just going, it's so horrible, it's so horrible. And Rusty's up there to save her, bring her out, because he's like, he had told Andrea, like, we gotta get the fuck out of this house. So he goes up to save Sister Lisa, and why are there so many Simpson names in this fucking movie, dude? Like, they couldn't use Krusty, so it's Rusty, and fucking Lenny, and fucking fucking Lisa, the sister. Like, what are we? This is fucking nuts. But she's going, it's so horrible. It's so horrible. And he goes, what is? And she's like, that you're my brother. And fucking tongue fucks his ear. Unreal scene. And then you're like, oh, there's that Amityville magic again, baby. Yep. There it fucking is. Rusty thankfully tries to escape while Lisa's just getting fucking naked. Like, just like pulling her clothes off. Like, I can't wait to fuck you. And Rusty's like, this is a fucking nightmare. And meanwhile, Jacob's free, and his leg wound is absolutely out of control.
Disgusting.
It's fucking so gross. And he says, this is about power and sacrifice. And he starts beating the living shit out of Andrea. And speaking of beating women, cut to Rusty, who punches his sister in the fucking mouth. And you're like, ooh. And then she's like, oh, yeah, baby. And you're like, oh, this is so fucked. Like, I hate everything fucking about this. And Rusty kills her.
Rusty has to kill her.
Rusty has to kill her in a way that cannot kill a human being, but that's okay. He takes the plug out of his guitar, which is plugged into an amplifier, sticks it in her fucking mouth, and then turns the volume all the way up. You'd catch, like, I don't even know if you could. It's a 1/4-inch fucking, like, amp cable. Like, there might be a little charge in it, but not. It would, like, vibrate your tongue. It fries. Lisa is, like, fucking fried. Sparks coming out of her fucking mouth. Fucking the best. And Jacob is about to kill fucking Andrea with the drafting ruler, which, by the way, is, like, the fucking heart and soul of this movie is that fucking drafting ruler.
The backbone. Yeah.
It really is the backbone of this movie. Clock and drafting ruler, the stars of this movie. Rusty goes to intervene, but time stops or goes backwards. It like catches Rusty in like a time loop, so he can't help. But it buys Andrea enough time to stab him in the fucking leg wound with a sextant, a compass, something, some pointy.
Yeah, I think it's a
pointy thing. And then she ultimately takes the drafting ruler and stabs him.
Yep.
And his last words are his like horniest words from earlier in the movie, where he says, "Stay the night. I'll be a gentleman.
I'll be a gentleman."
Oh, what a way to go out. Dead. Cue to Andrea turning around and being like, Rusty. And Rusty is a baby with a mullet.
the time is reversing Rusty's time, making him younger and younger.
The best part about that scene is the Amityville house. It reasons with Andrea in this moment, because Andrea's like, looks at the clock, like makes eye contact with the clock, and is like, "Hey, you let him get out, you understand?" And the fucking house opens the door and lets baby Rusty walk out. Like, yeah, sure, fine. That's fine. Fair is fair.
Yeah.
No baby killing.
It starts making Andrea older.
Yes, it turns Andrea into an old woman. And she attacks the walls with the drafting ruler. This is the strongest fucking ruler on planet fucking Earth. She tears down the fucking walls. To reveal, now I kind of like this, that like the clock gears have intertwined with the house, which would make the Amityville house a thing. Yes. No, it makes sense somehow. Defying all odds, it makes sense. I fucking liked it. Like, I was like, that's fucking sick. Like, it takes over the house like vines. Yes. And I just like it, and there's no reason for me to, but I was just like, I'm down. I get it. I'm cool with this. Yes. Turns her into an old woman. I don't know if she turned on the gas or if we're supposed to understand why this happens or what she even uses to ignite a flame, because it's not a lighter. It's like a fucking whistle. I don't know. I thought it was some kind of piece of shit lighter, but it's just an exposed gas pipe because she was ripping down all the walls. Oh, okay. So that happens. And then she I thought it was actually like a key or something, but she lifts it up and like somehow fucking ignites the fucking blows up the entire fucking house again. And we watch the clock spiral back to hell or something like that.
Yeah.
But Andrea wakes up. Cut to Andrea waking up, holding the drafting ruler.
Back to the first night.
Drafting ruler goes to answer the door, and it's Jacob coming in with the clock. We're all the way back at the beginning, and I kind of fucking love that they repeated the entire beginning where they're like, where he's like, what are you doing with that? Which we mentioned earlier, the drafting ruler that she's holding. And she's like, protection. And you're like, what the fuck? This was it. It's
now a time travel movie, and it makes sense in the time travel world.
Fucking rocks. And it fucking rocks. Move over, Looper. We got a new fucking best time travel in town, baby. He pulls out the clock. Andrea.
Wait, you consider Looper the best time travel movie?
I don't know. It's just the one I thought it
was. Looper. I mean, I
actually like Looper a lot. I'm trying to think.
Great.
Wait, what is the best time travel movie?
I mean, Back to the Future would probably be the go-to, right?
Oh, he fucks his mom, dude. That might be an Amityville movie, actually. The Amityville fucking
Looper rules. I actually want to watch Looper now.
Looper fucking rocks. Looper fucking rocks.
Of all the time travel.
Looper fucking rocks. But no, what would be the best one? There's that one that like everyone
12 Monkeys. 12 Monkeys is fucking.
Dude, 12 Monkeys is really fucking good.
Terminator.
That time.
Of course, it's time travel. He comes back in time to stop.
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah. He's constantly. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm asking that.
Dude, what?
He's literally bouncing through time every fucking movie. Okay, wait, what do we got? You got the time machine with. Is that Val Kilmer in that?
I'm not trying to hear about the time machine.
H.G. fucking Wells. Donnie Darko?
Of course not.
I hate Donnie Darko. Stargate, I don't think is a time travel movie. Time Bandits. These aren't time travel movies. Like, is Planet of the Apes time travel? Sort of.
I mean, not in the sense that we're talking. I mean, they're stuck in space, and he wakes up, and it's years and years later.
Like, what do we call these? I mean, you call them time travel movies.
I mean, they're time travel movies.
But everyone's lumping these other weird ones into it. Everyone's fucking around. Primer. What's Primer?
Primer's good. Primer's good.
Terminator. About Time, which I think is actually a rom-com. Back to the Future 2. Idiocracy. Looper. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Get the fuck out of here. This is not a fucking time travel fucking movie. Star Trek, the remake.
Okay.
Elements, right? Yeah, for sure. 12 Monkeys. Edge of Tomorrow, which I did not see. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That's a solid time travel movie.
It's not going to give you the science-based time travel that you want, but it's going to give you the gigs and the ha-has and the chuck.
No, that's what it gives you the goods. It gives you Genghis Khan.
Planet of the Apes they throw in there. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Okay, well, I mean, Groundhog Day? No.
I mean...
And Back to the Futures.
I would... whatever.
Hey, it's
more of a time loop than time travel movie.
Under this is an article that says, why Back to the Future 4 won't happen, according to co-writer Bob Gale. Hey, guys, just fucking look at the fucking cast. What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus fucking Christ. Whoa, there's going to be big surprise here, guys. You'll never guess why we can't do another fucking movie. Jesus Christ, the fucking internet, man. Wait till you find out why we can't make another Back to the Future. Anyway, Andrea smashes the clock when Jacob pulls it out, destroying it and smashing it with the ruler. And everyone is just like, what the fuck are you doing? And Jacob's like, what the hell is this all about? Andrea tearfully, she's leaving. She's packed all of her shit. She's smashed the clock. She's leaving. He says, what the hell is this all about? She turns around and says, It's about time. That's what. To which the family is like, all right, cool.
All of them just standing there being like, what a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, what a fucking lunatic. Except Rusty, who's like kind of picking up on her vibe, and then looks out, and Iris like fucking like Disney winks at her.
Yeah.
like the Disney hero that you're like, she wasn't real, but then you see her and she like winks and you're like, oh, she fucking knows. It's like that. And then, but like instead of giving it the classic like head nod, like the silent acknowledgement, Randy goes, pure evil, and fucking closes the door.
Fucking classic Randy.
Fucking dickhead. And that's the way this movie ends. I fucking liked it. I fucking had a good time.
I would recommend it.
I would too, man. I really like had a decent time with it. It's shocking. It's shocking. And how Andrea says it's about time. You never know. Was she saying it is? I'm talking about time. That's what. Or is she saying?
That is 100% what she's saying.
But you know what else?
Put a stamp on it.
But you know what else? It's kind of a cool element that they included like all of this like relationship shit in it, with her dealing with a guy that she should not be like this close with, when you know what I mean? Like they broke up, she's not happy. And like this ending is that it's about time also deals with her fucking leaving him and being like, I'm fucking done. Like, and it's like, that's way too deep for this fucking movie. And I fucking love
there's a lot of things that happened by accident that worked very much in their favor.
That's what I think. That's what I think too. I don't think much of it was intentional. Which is like kind of the go-to for time travel movies anyway. You're just kind of like, yeah. For sure. Like when you start fucking with time, you're like, yeah, anything's possible. And that is Amityville 1992. What a fucking movie. I really enjoyed that. We should put together a list of what we're going to do for the next couple months while we're in Philly. But we do have, and we can announce it on the live show. We do have, I've got some, do I have winter ones listed here? The Dorm That Dripped Blood, The Lodge.
Didn't we do that for the live show last year?
No. Maybe?
Yeah, we did the double feature. One for Europe and
yeah. Maybe we did. It was a good movie though. Okay, sorry. I'm just looking at movie ideas now instead of ending the show. So we're in Philly this weekend, live show, or not a live show, live event. Come out, say hello. We'll be there Friday and Saturday. We will not be there Sunday, but come out and say hi. We'll be probably a little drunk. And that's Monster Mania Con. There's a ton of people there, man. It's fucking huge.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Weird. And then, so next week there will be no episode. Then we have a live show on the 19th. Amityville Thanksgiving, I think, is what we have.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm willing to audible that for another Amityville movie that's like not that.
Not dreadful.
Yeah, because like I know it's Thanksgiving and like that trailer is great. That is not going to be a movie we're going to be happy sitting through though. Like, because first of all, we determined it's not about Thanksgiving, right? Like, it's about like the mafia. Isn't it about the mafia? Like,
yeah,
there's like Italians in tracksuits being like, hey! And like, I'm actually not sure it's about Amityville whatsoever. I don't think so, but we'll take a look as we get closer. Maybe we'll just do another Amityville movie. So there'll be no live show for Monster Mania Con, and then I guess no live show after the weekend after the live show. But we'll drop an ADAT for y'all, for all y'all's asses.
Yeah, I think we got a heater coming up.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do that. And then that'll leave us with one more show that month on the 29th. TBD. And I'm excited. We got our winter shows. We got to start putting together our serial killer, because we'll make that our winter thing. moving forward. So we got to start doing that. I think it's Hellraiser, right? I think we've talked about this before, but Hellraiser is a great franchise to explore, man. That's going to be so fucking weird, especially with our boy here, our boy that directed this movie doing number 3, Tony fucking Randall, man. Do you remember Hellraiser 2 or no?
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, Hellraiser 2 I used to watch.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. I don't know. I've always liked Hellraiser 2. I'm curious if I'm an idiot or if it still stands, but hey, Tony Randall's body of work speaks for itself. I fucking love it. All right, guys, that's it. Again, you can get our new merch over at ihatehorror.com. Click the store link there. You can follow us on Instagram at ihatehorror. You can, at ihatehorror, Twitter at ihatehorrorshow, Facebook.com/ihatehorror, and Patreon.com/ihatehorror for all the new content. We did a bonus episode talking about Terrifier 2 and Barbarian, and they get the ADAT episode. So, that'll be that. There's some value there, guys, in the live shows, of course. Which last month we had some Patreon issues. They emailed me the other day, and they were like, "Hey, we fixed it." So I don't believe them, but we'll find out. Everything's like not working now. Remember, like, dude, our feed was all fucked up for a while. It was like not releasing episodes, and then now the fucking live. It's out of my. I know it seems like it's fucking me. It's not fucking me. All signs point to me. I am fucking rusty in this situation, but man, it's just pure fucking evil, brothers. Like it's just fucking digital trolls.
Pure fucking evil.
Pure fucking evil. So check those things out. Joe, where can they find you?
Instagram, Boognish1985.
And that is a wrap, everyone. Thank you all so much. And we will see you at Monster Mania this weekend. And for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.
I dissect movies all fucking day.
I wanna play.
I'm gonna watch what I'm not supposed to watch. A fucking zombie getting sliced and diced.
The monster. Butcher.